Oh, I'm live. Oh, hey. Hey, everybody. How are you? Welcome to my live show on this Tuesday afternoon. It is 12 o'clock. Let me see. Let me remove this. Every time I think I am like fully, well, at least somewhat prepared to come live and give a broadcast show to my audience, is something always I have to fix. But I would like to say thank you to everyone who's coming in and joining my live. Again, I cannot see the comments, so I'm looking on my tablet. I'm streaming from my. Oh, there we go. Let me turn this down. Okay, I turned it down. If anyone picked up on the background, I apologize about that. So, how's everyone day going? I haven't been up here in a couple days. The last live I did, it was like, I think it was a live me saying that I'm definitely going into a different direction, into a different, not, I'm not going to call it sector, because wherever the algorithm place you, that's where you are. And I want the algorithm to place me in the relationship sector, which is a hard thing to get into. And people, that's most people, majority of people, men and women, gender wars, that's what's being talked about. So I at least want to push it in that algorithm. And I put up a post that said I'm not going to be in this current sector anymore, which I'm not, and I'm dead serious. That's why I have changed the whole title to something totally different to let everyone know I'm serious and I don't have anything to say about this sector, which from this day on, I will not say this sector. I will just go give my commentary, give my reaction, and you will see if you with me, stay with me, and you will see how we go into a totally whole different direction. But I'm going to need the help of my supporters, the ones that come in here and support me, whether it's 12, 25, or 32, we can grow together. And I will make sure that happens. So I would like everyone to be at least be on the same page, with me and the lives that I am going to go forward with from now on. So welcome to my channel, Insight and Perspective. I'm your host, Bronx Girl. And, in this live, I usually speak live and direct. I don't sugarcoat. I try to keep it respectful, at least try to keep it respectful to anyone that want to join, participate, um, give feedback. We are a community of critical thinkers. That's what I always wanted to build my platform around, and I think I have done that. Some people have stayed, some people have gone, some people continue to stay, some people, and I'm like, what is the back and forth, please? If you don't want to be a supporter, a subscriber, you don't have to be. It's okay. I'm going to keep going. So the ones that are here with me, I'm going to always try to put on a decent show for you and give you something that you can talk about. A lot of and what I like about my supporters, and I respect and will always honor about my supporters, like we're going to grow together, things are going to come together, but I like that they all work in an environment where they can listen as a podcast or they can stream it with their I don't know what's going on with this. They can stream it live with their co-workers, colleagues, and they could pass the word on. That's my goal. It's like, listen to this girl, Bronx girl. I've been following her for some time now. She's not consistent. However you want to make me look. The whole point would be, and the whole thing that would make me happy is that, they're engaging. So it's like a recommendation. It's like a suggestion. Check out Bronx Girl. I've been following her. She say a little bit of unconventional, non-traditional things, and she have a different perspective, but that's the point. You have your perspective, I have my perspective. We can exchange and share ideas. The last time I went live, I did a black screen from YouTube. So that's kind of different. That feel like awkward. The only thing I feel like when people go live from that avenue and when they go live from YouTube, the channel, is because you can monetize differently. I don't know how to monetize like from before I go live. I'll figure it out. Hopefully, I will figure it out. I want to monetize my content. That's why I am a little bit mindful of the things that I say as a host because I think of one, two, three videos ago that I did get um I didn't get fully paid. I got partially paid due to the language I was using. And that right there, it should be in itself to tell me that you need to switch it up, clean it up. And that will be, I could curse and everything, but I just can't. I have to take it in a whole different direction. So the title says, and I did a video about this before. I did. And it was black screen, and I had a few people in there. It was a decent amount of people. For me, around this time, it was decent. With this live, if I can at least pick up two subscribers that just came in and listened to something I said in 20 seconds, that would be great, right? Build up the subscribers, build up a channel, build up the membership. We go. So the last live I did was titled Are Men Okay? No, no, I think I said men are not okay. And then I added Threads, the a dating site that's attached to and affiliated with Instagram and Facebook. I was on Threads. I was like, oh no, this is where the men are not okay at. Threads is something you may have to research, and that needs to be a case study on Threads for real. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just like, I thought I could go over there and get some insight and share some ideas. Like it said, share some ideas. And it was nothing but a platform dedicated to people. And I'm not saying all of them. I guess the type of where the algorithm place you is where the algorithm place you. I was more in the men versus women, gender wars, but that wasn't my intent was to be placed in the gender wars algorithm section, right? I talk about relationships, I share my experiences, I share my knowledge. So that's when I learned like, oh no, I went viral once or twice. I think it was once or twice. It was a good feeling. I was like, the momentum was up there. I was like, oh, okay, I need to keep going. Then I had what is it called? A crash. And I ain't been back since because I'm not going to battle with, and I don't care if you're a man or woman. Like if we're talking about two different things and we're not like on the same page, then we're going to have a bit of misunderstandings, and disagreement is okay on this channel. It is welcome. I appreciate it. Arguments are good on this channel. It is welcome. I appreciate it. Debate is definitely good on this channel. It is welcome. I appreciate it. This channel is going to be surrounded in a bit of drama, so to speak. But over there are people, women, not to shout out the women, not to say what you're doing is bad or good. That's just not for me. Most of the women over there were looking for husbands. Like they'll put a post up like dating to marry. If you're not dating to marry, you're wasting your time. This came from about hundreds of women. Then we have the men that are looking for women, but they don't want women that have children already. They'll prefer to go with a woman, take their chances. And what are the chances of men getting married to a woman, a smart, intelligent woman that values herself and loves herself? And why would she consider getting married? Because I say this because these are the men that yell loud and proudly that they do not date single women, I mean single mothers. So that was that over there. And they was looking for wives. I was like, this is not the type of environment I want to be in. This is not where I want to be because there's no growth over here. You get stuck. A lot of the things I was saying, like normal uh statements, writing normal posts, such as like women, you should pull back a little. Don't take anybody too seriously too soon. I get posts and comments that I'm a whore. I'm like, oh my gosh, you got that from there? So where the 304 males are at, because over a lot over there, even in women too, they use the term female and male. And it's not that uh uh oh people get offended or triggered. It's just that you're using it out of context and you're not using it in the right sentence. You're not using it in a correct sentence. You're not using it in the correct context. You're using it out of context. You referring to a woman as a female, talking about why females, like, what do you mean? So can I stop you right there when you say why females? What type of female are you talking about? And I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna say it again and I'm gonna keep it going. If women don't know what men be saying or what they be hinting at when they call women females, all they're calling you are a bitch. I see, and it's not hard to sit there, sit back, think about it, and figure it out. And when I say, because another woman brought that to my attention, I was like, you are absolutely right. I agree. I'm walking down the block, and this is a perfect example. So, and a guy was on the phone talking loudly so I could hear his conversation, and he was talking loudly so it was clear and concise. He was asking his friend, he's like, yo, that female that, and then he turned around and said, that bitch. So y'all men sit there and call women females intentionally, even if you think you sounded good. Anytime it go like, oh, why females want men to take them out and they don't be having money, or why females be single mothers and want men to take care of their kids, or why do females like why? It's like always start with why or how do females. So that means you're reducing us to something that less than a human being. Because if you were to look at it like this, and this point, from this point, and you would say, well, a female dog is a bitch, right? So are you calling me a bitch? Because if a female dog is a bitch and you calling me a female, right? Because it's all under categories: a female chick, a female dog, a female bird, a female tiger, female, you know what I mean? It's a biological category, right? So so why wouldn't I think you calling me a bitch? Like, a female dog is a bitch, right? So that's how we know that you're using it out of context and you don't know how to use it in the proper term. Women have this problem too. They just didn't learn. And you know why I say they did not learn? Because I learned. I did my research. I came across it. I used to use the term female too because I didn't know that I was using it out of context. And I am not afraid to admit that actually it feels good to admit my mistakes and me using a word that is used out of context, and it has, and it reduces women, right? And I'm not going to I'm not trying to be funny, but there are men that use it and I just look at them and it's like, okay, he using it. I don't think he mean anything about by it, but some men do. But then the ones that you can correct, they pick up on it. And it's not like a criticism. It's like, no, you're just using the word in the wrong context. Are you calling me a bitch? Because I want to give you an example. Like, a female is a biological category. A female dog is a bitch. So why wouldn't I think you calling me a bitch? And that's that, right? That's how they speak over there on threads. And so I said I had to go. And that's how you get a lot of your research and experience on threads. It's just moving and floating around on different platforms over there. Like, that's where I realize, and I've run into men every day. I have male friends, and when women like me that are confident within herself and she know that she's feel, and okay, let me not make it about me. Women that know and are confident in themselves and that are single, so-called single or independent. We have reasons for that. Why we are single, independent, confident, lovely, smart, and intelligent. We have reasons why we don't want to jump into relationships. So mostly when I hear people that are referred to as a strong woman, is I know that woman is kind, and I know that woman have skills, and I know that woman is intelligent. A lot of women that say that they are strong are not strong, because a lot of things lead up to you open with the interpretation or the idea that no, you can't be a strong woman and then knock down other women at the same time. You can't do that. I'm here to empower women, stand up for women, take a hit for a woman, a target for women, for other men. Like I get the hit left side, right side. It's not cute. It doesn't feel good. But I'm not gonna let nobody knock me down based on what they don't like. And when I say like, yeah, a strong woman has a certain set of characteristics that is rare and it's beautiful. So I don't use that term strong woman because and if I'm talking to someone and they use that type of language, because I was speaking to someone today and he made sure to say, well, you a strong, independent woman. You don't need no man to take care of you. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Right. So I had to let him know, no, I'm independent and single because I'm not married. I feel like women today need to at least respond to shut men down, but they'll still come back for more. Right? No, I'm independent and I'm single because I am not married. Are you asking me to propose marry you? You saying I'm independent. I don't want to get married. Don't propose to me. Anytime a man say to you, "Oh, you're independent and you're," what he said, "Oh, you're independent and you're strong and you're single, right? You could take care of yourself." Like, what are you talking about? I'm not asking you to marry me. I don't want to get married to you. I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. That's why I'm independent and I'm single because I'm not married. If I were married, we would be I would not be independent. I would not be single. So what the hell are you talking about, guy? Know what you saying to before you say it. And with threads, I was like, no, let me just get off of here. It's like it's a good thing to research and you want to talk about men, how they think, their mindsets. Like if a woman don't say what they're looking for or they have what they have may have in the same idea, like or share the same idea that they have as to like, look, I'm looking for a woman to marry because I need a quick maid. Sorry, call me bougie or snotty. Like I'm not marrying anyone. Okay, how much I like you, right? If it benefits me greatly, it benefits me greatly. That's the only reason why I would encourage someone to get married or promote someone to get married. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have the ingredients in the marriage that you need for it to be long term, successful, and last forever. If that's what you want, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, if a woman decides to get married, it should benefit the woman in the long term. I said on threads like you shouldn't marry unless your husband have some type of life insurance, and I meant that for the simple fact that men are dying younger now, and you don't want to be left asked out. That's not something that you want to do. So those marriage, getting married is a serious responsibility, and that's why I don't want to get married. I don't have to explain that. Maybe that'll clear some things up. Because when I was talking to my friend, he's like, "Oh," I was like, I don't fall in love. I don't want to be with somebody." He's like, "You never know. You never know." No, I don't. I know what I want. I wish men stop thinking that women don't know how to make their own decisions. That's why some women say that they're independent because they're letting you know, I can think for myself. I can make my own choices. I can make my own decisions. That's when you should use the word independent. If you were to say, "Oh, you know what? She's a female independent thinker." I'll be like, "Oh, thank you. That's a great compliment. That makes more sense. She's a female independent thinker." As opposed, I say females be wearing wigs. Females be thinking we supposed to do it. Like you sound like you hate women. I don't hold or hide. And it depends in the circumstance and situation because you know how men are. When I say men are not okay, they're not okay. It's hard for them to receive information from a woman or a female, a female, a female human being. It's hard for them to receive information from a female human being. It turns into something totally different. And that's why I was like, let me just gather some information on threads and come over here and let YouTube know that men are not okay. Um, what seems to be the problem, and I'm going to do a series on it. This is episode 1. Episode 1, men are not okay, right? Or it's like they're not okay. I found out. I fucked around and found out that men are not okay. Cuz the other question was on the the first video I did, I was like, are men okay? Men were coming in there politely saying, yes, men are okay. It doesn't take that much to know that men are not okay. And I'm not here to I stand up for women. I'm here to put men in their place, but mostly it's not about the men. It's about me standing up for women, empowering women. And I use that term because I mean it. Speaking for the woman that doesn't have the heart to speak up, or not brave enough, or don't want to speak up, but she can listen and still support in other ways, or just she speak up and talk for other women independently of her own. She don't need a podcast. But no, men are not okay. Like I feel like with men, they suffer, and they suffer in silence, but they can't keep blaming society for their suffering. There's so much opportunities out here, and I'm not saying that it's awarded to everyone. I'm not saying that everyone doesn't have that um, opportunity to go out there and seek help. But when we hear that men are not okay and are they okay, we know that they're not okay, and we know that it is a problem. It has been a problem. It's becoming a problem. It is a problem. There is a male loneliness epidemic. And I personally can speak for myself, and I understand why men are lonely. They should be lonely. They deserve to be lonely. Not all. I'm not talking about the ones, the babe, and no, I don't want to start talking like that. The babies. I'm not talking about the youth, the ones that are taking direction and guidance from these older men, but these older men that's supposed to have so-called wisdom and shit. Y'all sitting up there talking about y'all praying to God for wisdom. That means you can't think for yourself. So God has to give you wisdom before you give it to someone else. Yeah, okay. Um, so I'm not talking about the ones, the young men that is navigating through life and in their late 20s, the ones that's in their early 30s, late 20s, early 20s, okay, but the ones that's in their late 30s, like 35, 36, I'm not trying to help or save you. I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't like certain things that you just have to know and come to the realization that you have to definitely take responsibility for yourself. If you are a man and you are lonely and horny and sexless, that's your problem. And I say that's your problem because for the simple fact that there's no reason for you to be horny, lonely, and sexless. If you have a job, if you have social skills, if you have a decent, intelligent, um, healthy mindset, if you have integrity. I'm not saying that all men, and when I say all men, I'm talking about the male loneliness. I'm talking about the portion of men that deserve it. I'm not talking about the ones that are not, looked at as the ones that can afford to do things on because they have a good job. They can get girls. I'm not talking about those. But I'm talking about the young men that need at least a great, decent direction, guidance from an older guy that may have experience, but they can't get that because the older men are lonely. I can see you being lonely. Horny? Okay, I can see you being horny. Sexless? I can't see that. When men think that women are objects, but you lonely, horny, and sexless. So you the men that sit back in a home waiting for someone to come save you. Don't save men, not in the least bit. I could see if you were married. I'm not talking to the married people. I'm talking to the independent woman and the independent man. I'm talking to the men that sit at home, or even if he do work, there are men that are lonely, horny, and sexless, and they work. That's because they are cheap and their heart is hardened. They don't want to like give, but they want to receive. These are actual facts. Okay, I have experienced this. Men that have great jobs, decent jobs, and they have a whole commentary, and they summarize mostly why they are cheap. And I let them know, you being a cheap man, I would never love you. I could see if you was like had a big house, or not even a big house. Okay, let me bring it down a notch. I could see if they had and own, like, a decent, nice apartment. They paying decent, nice rent. They got decent furniture. They have decent clothes. They have decent, everything that they need that they don't have to skimp on, right? And you cheap and you cut costs. Like, say you probably don't buy the store brand name food, you buy the canned food, you buy you cut costs where you need to cut costs. A person that spends money on things that they like and know that it's worth it, they know where to cut costs. Everyone who is not cheap. And then when you are cheap, you know where the real cheap people know where to cut costs. But if you're the type of man that say, I'm cheap, I don't, I was shocked when I was told that, yo, I'm cheap because you're a strong, independent, single woman. You don't need nobody taking care of you. That's what you think what independent mean and single mean? That a woman is looking for a man to take care of her. Some women are. I'm not that woman. Like, I don't think there is a man that I would meet today that I would stop doing what I do, become a single. I mean, the codependent woman relying solely on men. There's not one man in this earth, on this earth, worth it, unless he's a Jolly Green Giant. I'm not going to meet the Jolly Green Giant, so that's just something that I at least use it as example. The type of man that I like, the type of man that I want, the type of man I will be with, the type of man that I will kill my ego off for. But my ego is always there for the simple fact that these men are not the type of men that I will want to marry or be with. Right? If you're a cheap man, I could never love you. I told him that. I said, you're unlovable. I don't love cheap men. And the fact that you can't, if a man, and I say this because men are not okay. They are not okay because they don't want to do the work that's necessary. They waiting for a handout as like wisdom. That's what they're waiting for. They waiting for someone to come save them, to say, oh, I feel so sorry for you. You shouldn't have to go through that. Everyone go through stuff. When you are suffering, I'm suffering. I'm not suffering with no one. It's not great to suffer. It's not great to witness, whether it's physical, mental, physical, or whatever. It's not great to suffer, right? You do need suffering in the world, because this is a world and a wicked world that we live in, but it's a beautiful place also. If you explore, if you are explorer, you already know that this is a world that a lot of people are suffering in, and they shouldn't have to, like, not by their choice. Some people don't have a choice, but the people do have a choice, that know what things like building social networks and becoming a more sociable person, that's spreading the love. I'm a human connector. I make social connections. If anybody don't know how smart I am, I'm not that smart. Where I get my intelligence from, and I'm proud to say this, and I'm socially intelligent. That's it. That's something that a lot of people don't have and that I take pride in. And that's it. I'm not smart. I'm socially intelligent. If more people were socially intelligent, I'm talking about the men that are not okay. If you were more socially intelligent, at least try to make an effort, or try to make a connection, or try not to be that type of man that you have to dominate your masculinity. Exude your masculinity and dominate and control someone that's littler than you, smaller than you, that you don't think that's a human being. You deserve to be a male, lonely, horny, sexless man. And you know how I know that you deserve to do that? And you could call me a whore all you want to. You could call any woman a whore that thinks like a 304, which I feel like women should start thinking, and then they will at least see why a strong, kind woman like myself and other women stay single. If you were to just examine the facts, then you would see, like, oh, well, yeah, I can understand why Bronx girl is single, don't want to get married, don't want to be in a relationship, is free and can do whatever she want whenever she want, because she don't have to answer to anyone. I don't want to ever answer to anyone in that fashion, because I'm solely relying and dependent on another human being. So when I say this and I bring it back, when I look at a strong woman, I view a strong woman, I view and analyze a strong woman. That woman is kind. That woman is socially intelligent. That woman is a decent person. She is not selfish. She has skills that are rare, right? She's kind. That's what makes a woman strong is being kind. But she's not stupid. Right? Strong women get like characterized and labeled all sorts of things, and but you don't ever hear like the opposite to the strong woman. You always hear the strong woman. So every woman that politics stand up here and say, I'm a strong, independent woman, you may be, strong and independent and single, but is it real? And half of the time it doesn't be real. Cause I know, and that's where I go. Like these women that say they strong and kind and with strong and kind, right? Independent and single. These women are the ones that are willing to save the male loneliness. I mean, the lonely male that's horny and sexless. Open and honest vulnerability time. I've met guys and have had conversations and everything. And just because I meet a whole bunch of guys, and that does not mean that I'm sleeping with any or not one of them. But if I am and I do decide to choose to sleep with every man I meet, that's my choice and my decision to make. But I'm not. But if I am, it's my business. That's not something I would share. Like, oh, I did this. No, grown women that have their independence and have the mind to function with and think critically and think for themselves, make their decisions to do whatever they want to do if you're not hurting or harming anyone. I meet a lot of guys that like when women that are in marriages and you and your husband tell you that they don't want you to be around single women, they don't tell you that there are men that will hurt and try to harm women because she is single and independent and strong. No matter the woman, she could be a weak woman, she could be a strong woman. Men will not hesitate to attack you or try to harm you. So when I hear women say stupid shit and you taking up for men talking about, oh well, everyone deserves to be loved. Men deserve love too. No, but like why are you so hard? Why is so hard for you to say that men say fuck you to men? Like not all the men that needs to be a big fuck you. No, no, no. They don't deserve that because all men are not the same, right? But there are men that you need to be scared of and mindful of and fear. All right. So when women like sit up there and come to the rescue of the male loneliness that's horny and sexist, the reason is because they don't want to like spend any money. Uh, If you cannot, as a man, the men that are not okay, if you cannot find it to spend at least $10 just for an impression, then you don't need to be talking to any woman. I was told that like just because a man don't spend money on you, that don't mean he don't spend money on anyone else. So you fucking harassing me. You wasting my time. Men that are not okay, that don't get this concept, and I'm not saying that you need to come out your pocket and spend wards of money. You need to at least spend $10 for the girl you like. That's like something like a cup of coffee, a tea, a coffee and a biscuit. That's just like if you go on Dunkin' Donuts every day, you see the girl, a woman every day, and she's just, buying her coffee and you like her, you checking her out. She's something, she's nice to the cashier, she's nice to the people, she smile. Even if she don't smile and she's not like so talkative, that don't mean that she's a bad person, right? Maybe she's just not, I'm an extrovert outside, an introvert at home. Maybe she's an introvert at outside and an extrovert at home. Maybe that's something that you like. Right? That's something that you come like, oh, you know what? She bought her coffee. She's so quiet. She dressed nice. She's cute. She's nice looking. I like the way she looked. I'm going to one day buy her a cup of coffee. You just ask her, is it okay? Hi, how you doing? You have to say, I've been watching you. That's scary. You just say, I would like to buy you a cup of coffee. Is that okay with you? Either she's going to say yes or no. If she say yes, then you have a way in. Even if you buy her a cup of coffee and then she said thank you for the coffee and you ask her if she have a boyfriend and she say yes, don't get mad that you bought her a cup of coffee and she accepted it because she have a boyfriend. You offered. Start thinking, men, that's not okay. Okay, you're not okay. I am here to at least, and when I say I stand up for women, Women are scared to date also, and that's okay. You are in the right, and you have your right not to date, not to be around men. They are scary. And when you say this, men will be like, "Who hurt you?" I'm like, "A man." Why do men hurt women intentionally? Like, I'm not saying every man I've been with, every man I talk to that have hurt me. No, I don't. I'm talking about like, and I'm not even talking about mentally. Like and I'm not even talking about physically. But yes, I have been hurt, right? Like, not to the point where, oh my gosh, I can't recover. Like, I've been hurt, like stung or sting. Like, I don't like him anymore. And me being hurt, and I'd still give some men like, okay, maybe he's just loud and arrogant. I could deal with that. But when they go into their hostility and anger that resides within them, because they failed to get the help they need for their anger and aggression. So now they take it out on an innocent, beautiful woman, young woman, old woman. I was about to say young woman because I feel young. That's confident and may not have the same problems as you, the same resentment as you, the same anger as you, that I could flow freely. These are the strong women that you have to consider when you think about women being strong, that woman can do for herself. And then here go a man that's lonely and horny and sexless, thinking because he been lonely and horny and sexless for so long that he don't have to earn nothing, that he could just take it. That's why you fucking men are lonely and horny and sexless. If you don't have no intentions on spending money with a woman that you are attracted to, you are fucking harassing her and wasting her time. If you can't start the jackpot off with $10, I always start the jackpot off with at least $10. You tell a man that you love money, and you don't even have to say you love money. You could just say, I'm about money. They think you all about money. No, I'm not going to ever love a man that can't like buy me a cup of coffee. I'm not. But what I'm saying is like there are women that are trying to save these male, lonely, horny, sexless men. Don't do that. You don't know what you're getting yourself into, women, ladies. You are entering a danger zone. I'm not sitting here talking up and talking in vain. I am dead ass serious. There's a price to pay when you try to save a man. Some men you can save. Those are the ones that you need to look for their good qualities. I'm not let me state this clearly. He must have a job, but he could still be a little bit, need a little push in the right direction. You can do that. Those are the powerful women. Those are the strong women. These are the women that won't waste their time, but we still give the other side, the male loneliness. Because if you want to separate genders, we're going to separate men from men. They are everyone talking about they want a good man. Those good men, those are tricks. Those are tricks and traps. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you when a guy, even when a guy say he's nice, I'm like, nah, this is not going to work. You are not nice. Men are not nice. Not the lonely, horny, sexless ones. Because a man being lonely and horny and sexless, those are the ones that you need to watch out for. What about the ones that say, I want a beautiful woman for today? I worked all week. I worked for all month. I saved up a little money because I'm not going to just cash in one paycheck to pay for a woman. What if that man that, that just save up his money, he dressed well, not even name brand or designer clothes. He don't eat out much, but he treat himself once in a while. And he may have a little problem in the area of struggling with meeting and finding women, but he works in the environment and in an environment where he can be um directed in that path of finding a decent woman, a woman of the night. I'm not saying I'm a woman of the night, but if you think I am, I'm not cheap, which I'm not a woman of the night. But if a man want to like just spend, say, at least, because I did a little research. I was watching one of these auto because you learn a lot from men. The fuck men talking about, oh, you getting hurt? No, I'm not getting hurt. I'm learning. Please, I don't have time for hurt. I'm learning. So I think it was one of those video games. Grand Theft Auto. And the girl was it was an animation, but it was funny. And this is how you get to know men. You got to know men where they hang out at. You have to listen to their language. You have to know how they speak and their characteristics. I guess that's why I can say I'm socially intelligent. I get freaking played too. I'm not the best player. So the girl, they went to the club and she was came up to the guy. And this is all animation. She walked up to the guy. She's like, "What's up, baby?" And the other guy, well, she was asking him, do he want a lap dance? And she's like, "No, baby, I'll catch up with you later." He was nice and polite and decent. He treated her with respect. But it was another guy in there that was, gravid, like falling all over her. He didn't have no money in his pocket. She walked away from him. Right. But it was another scene where this is all animation, but this is true, real life, how things go on in the strip club. Right. He was like, "How much you charge?" And I'm not going to get graphic, but her price wasn't lower than $200. So I feel like with men, they talking about they're lonely and horny and sexless. That's because you're cheap. That's because you don't have no characteristics. That's because you're mean. That's because you're hateful. That's because you think women are beneath you. I'm talking about the men that think about women like this. I'm not talking about the men that would take a step and try to look for a decent woman with a little bit of cash in his pocket. Even if he get a woman of the night, he paid for that. You men should pay for what they want instead of thinking they are automatically entitled to it, talking about falling in love. No, you don't have to be in love to have sex. But I'm talking about the guy that, sit back and be like, "Oh, you know what?" And that's between him and his woman of the night. She made him feel special because he paid for it. And he know where to go. The decent type of guy wouldn't go to a hole in the wall. He'll just go. And this is a certain type of guy. And I know people are like, "Well, how do you know all this?" Because I watch TV, I watch movies, I listen to men, and I listen to how other men think. That's why I could use they fucking technique. That's why I can use their tactics against them. But no, I can't overpower every man that have an attention, that have a agenda. No, I can't do that. I'll be honest with you on that. But what I will let women know, because I will definitely want to speak to every woman in the universe atmosphere, right? No, men that are horny and sexless and lonely. Those are the cheap men. Those are the ones that sit back and wait. Like these are the ones that smoke the cigarettes. These are the ones that don't put effort into how they dress. These are the ones that don't have a fun. Or these are the ones that don't throw their pocket change into a piggy bank. Start throwing your I'll start telling. And you know what? I'm learning how to just observe because I was going to the store. I was watching the little kids because I love watching children in their element, no matter their age, babies, um kindergarten, elementary, on your way of teenagers, and then it stops between. Not even like watching younger people under the age of 30. So one of the kids came and he bought his friend something, each a snack, and he bought himself something and he got change and he gave it to his friend. He's like, "I don't." He's like, I don't like quarters no more. But I was wanted to tell him, he was like about what, 13, 12. I was like, you know what? Don't say that. You know what? Each quarter or change you get that you receive from your change, put that in a piggy bank. I bet you by the time you're 20 years old, you probably have about, a lot of money, a couple thousands of dollars. So these men that don't take the time to take care of themselves and they sit there and think women are beneath them, that women can't be free, that women can't be strong, that women can't be independent or have her own mind or her can't make her own decision. These are why these men are lonely. They attack women in more ways than one. Whether it's just verbally, mentally, physically, the ones that attack women physically, those are the fucking psychopaths. Those are the ones that are anti-social. Those are the homebodies. And I say this to say because this is true. Stay away from the homebodies. Stay away from the antisocial men. They are and will remain scary. Stay away from cheap men that think, "Oh, well, if you sitting there clocking $2 or $10, you are not ambitious at all. You are not the type of man that will lead. You are not the type of man that will protect and provide." Men know this. They know it's bullshit. But they use these tactics and these methods on women, vulnerable, vulnerable, because we all are vulnerable in certain moments. And There are certain moments that, we are vulnerable. It's just what the situation called for. But these are tactics and ploys that men use on weak women, the submissive woman, the men that are not okay. These are the ones that real weak women in with I'll protect and provide, and the woman have that same mindset. Well, like I want someone to protect and provide. I want someone to lead because I don't know what I want. These are women that the men sit there and prey upon. But someone like myself, someone that has confidence, intelligence, and can look within herself and say, I feel beautiful, I feel sexy, I feel lovely. I mean, dear, I'm not perfect at all. I struggle with just being like a human being in the terms of like, I want to go out there and do my best, but I still have to keep pushing. I can't rely on nobody. I can't depend on no one. That's hard to find. Meet you a partner, get you a partner, someone that supports you, someone that don't have that mindset of being a leading or having gender roles. No, you can lead here, I can lead there. And another thing with the male loneliness that are horny and sexless is they don't know how to like circulate money, build community. They don't. So I don't have like sympathy because they don't have sympathy. The lonely men, they don't have empathy at all. They don't. Like you could sit there and have a like normal discussion with a man that's not okay. Cause these are the only men that are hostile and bite your head off and so defensive and take things so personally and feel like they need to overpower you, interrupt you, cut you off, shut you down, are the men that are lonely. There are men that can be married and do the same thing too. But good thing that there are lonely men because it makes it easier for us as women to identify. So the ones that are married that's lonely and do all the same nasty, horrible behaviors to women, mistreat women in a marriage and have them held hostage. Yeah, no. These are not the type of guys that you should want to look for. But these guys are out here, and you just have little conversations with them. You like, ill, yeah, I do judge. Fuck that. I am prejudiced against men. They prejudice against us. I'm prejudiced against lonely men. I don't want to waste my time. I want some that's up, functioning, healthy mindset, ambitious, put in the effort, have a great, effective communication skill, emotionally intelligent, intellectually and sexually. You can't even share like you sit there and you talk about little general shit with men. They start thinking the wrong things like that. These are the men that have been probably at their jobs and it's okay for 20, 30 more years and have not seen anything greater. And that's okay. Many of them are probably will get a pension, but like if you what's stopping you from picking up a book and reading to advance? Because women are now outshining men and I'm not afraid and I won't ever be afraid to say that I don't need a man because if you tell me what I need a man for then I would need that man. If you tell me what I need a man for, I would need that man. Of course I like male company. Of course I like men, the ones that I like, but the ones I don't like, I don't need you. But the ones that I do like, I don't need you either. But if you have something that makes you special and stand out, then yeah, I need you. And I'm not talking about like solely relying or dependent or a man of in that need. And I mean it in like a in my life, like we even if we're best friends. And it's like a need is like a real strong label. So when men reframe shit talking about all women going around talking about they don't need men, you be like, what do you need? What do we need you for? We make our own money now. That's what women needed men for because they didn't have an education. They didn't have a decent job. They had to solely rely on their husbands for finances and money. And if they did work, they had to come home and pay their husbands and give their money to their husbands. So yeah, women are independent and single. We're not married. So where does that come from? Like, oh, you're independent. Yeah, I'm not married. I don't want to marry you. I'm not looking to get married. Don't propose to me. Anytime a man say that to a woman, you independent and single, I'm not married. I don't want to get married. Don't propose to me. That's not an offer. Don't that thank you. Fuck out of here. You think we stupid? Women are not stupid. They use these phrases like we're supposed to be scared. Like they'll say stupid shit like, well, you want to be old and lonely. What you mean? I would never be old and lonely. Every man that I have come across, every man I talk to, every man I meet, I let them know that I have male friends. I would never be lonely. Why? Because I'm socially intelligent. And just because I'm socially intelligent, that don't mean that everyone gets to know me. I'm a private person. I have a personality. We all have personalities that we are putting up a show for in the public eye. But no, like, and I said, stop listening to those male podcasts because that's not thinking for yourself. Like, why would you automatically assume because a woman say that she don't want to be in a marriage, she don't want to have no titles, she don't want to emerge finances, she don't want any. I'm not trying to be a main primary wife or whatever. I'm not trying to be a second. I'm not trying to be a side chick. I'm not trying to be none of that. I like my freedom. Women and then he said, well, what if you meet somebody? Then I will let the whole world know that I met the one that I want to settle down with. Maybe that's when I turn 60 or 50, at least have a good 30 years with someone. I don't know if I want to be with someone in my 40s and 50s and then have to spend the rest of my life with them for 30 years. So maybe 60, 70, 80, right? We don't know how long we're going to live. So if I meet someone at 60, that's a good 30 years, providing that we both healthy and take care of ourselves. We don't know when we're gonna go, but okay, so even if it's like I meet someone in 5 years from now, because I don't want a relationship. I'm not even searching, I'm just meeting, mingling, exploring. I have options, and that's not like options like, oh, I could call someone like, yo, come get me. It's like I have the option to do what I want. Like I'm not sitting there relying on my options to take care of me. But if you're not one of the if you're not an option, you're not an option, you're not someone I consider like, oh listen, I'm running into a little trouble. Is it okay if I borrow a little money and I give you back plus what on top of that? I haven't met a man that I could say that to because they automatically say that they are cheap. So like if you cheap, then you're definitely not going to split the funds and that's it. Like, no, you definitely have to. And I feel like women should at least consider that when they dating, because I hope like a younger audience feel and get the same idea when it comes to this male loneliness that they are not okay. They are not okay. Stay away from them. I don't mind telling a man that is a danger to women. Stay away from all women. You are a danger to society. I still maintain a certain sense of decorum when it comes to being polite. Like being polite is okay. Hi, how are you? Da da da. Da, still talk. Like there are the male lonely men. They don't have a healthy mind. That's why they're lonely. I'll put it like that. That's why men are lonely because they don't have a healthy mindset. That's it. That's all. Why women don't want to be married and they are happy or single because they know that men don't have a healthy mindset. Men that are not okay do not have a healthy mindset. They have a fixed mindset and it's not a growth mindset. You need a healthy, sharp mind to at least entertain a decent woman. At least if y'all have something that y'all both can talk about and share the same interests and values. A lot of women get married, and I'm going to end this in a little bit because my audience been here, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around this long. It makes me happy that whoever stayed for this long stayed. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. You are the great people of the world. You are the decent human beings of the world. Don't ever let nobody tell you different, right? You have something that a lot of people don't have and they will never have great listening skills. Excuse me. And that should be noted. But like, I'm just women that want to get married, consider those options. It's okay not to get married. And I stand on that. I stand up for women. I love women. I'm in favor of women. Um, I speak for the woman also that will say, well, Bronx girl, you talk a lot of shit. Like, that's why no men don't want you, because you too masculine, you too manly. Like, I'm too masculine, I'm too manly. When have I ever disrespected a man? You know how men disrespect each other or disrespect women, and they'll go to the lowest or furthest of truth, of disgust, and tell you, like, oh, yo, you know what I mean? That's what they do. When have I ever said that? When I ever like, tried to hurt someone because they stepped on my sneaker? Fuck you mean manly? Yeah. Everyone is masculine, everyone is feminine. Every masculine man I met, they try to hide their feminine traits, but they have more feminine traits than women. But no, this their feminine traits is directed more towards a anger. So while men don't like take responsibility of saying that emotions, anger is an emotion, right? But they'll blame women, saying women are emotional, so that's feminine. But they are more feminine, like than women, like with that anger and resentment. That's a feminine. That's supposed to be a feminine quality, right? Because men are supposed to be so broad. They supposed to be so stoic. They supposed to be so proud. They supposed to be so cheerful. They supposed to be so ambitious. They supposed to be so respectful. They're supposed to be so intelligent, rational, logical thinkers. How? If they are not okay. If more men decide to go and get help and seek the help that they need and desire, and which they crave because they need help, they desire help, they just don't know where to start, right? Start by taking the responsibility and taking a little accountability for yourself. Get up one day and say, you know what? I am a fucked up, horrible human being. I don't mean to be like this, but this is just the way that the cards was dealt. But I don't want to be like this no more. I want to be a better guy. I want to have respect for women. I want to honor and look at women like they are human beings and that they have the right to voice their opinion without me being so mad and offended. It starts there. Those are your little affirmations that you need to recite during the day and when you before you walk out to work or if you're just playing a video game. And these men that play video games, these are supposed to be strategies, but they overindulge in it. So it's like nothing exciting to them. I was reading that like people that play video games are the best thinkers. No, not these male lonely men. This is like their therapeutic time. And that's what I'll leave off with men. Then once you can recite those words to yourself and you can identify the problem. It doesn't necessarily have to be a woman at all that you have a problem with, but it could lead up to the reason why you do have a little bit resentment and anger and hostility towards innocent women. When I say innocent women, that's someone that you should not be blaming for your faults. That's it. Go to therapy, get the therapy you need. If you have to pray for wisdom, then do that. What result are you going to see sooner, men that are not okay? Praying for wisdom or going making a phone call and say, listen, I need help. How can I make this happen? That's it. That's all. I am going to resume this series. Men are not okay, episode 2, and we'll go from there. But I would like to thank my beautiful audience that tuned in and listened for 57 minutes. You are a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful human. And don't ever let no one tell you that again. And when they say what makes you a great human, because you can say, I have great listening skills. And that's something that's most people don't have, and you have it. So I would like to thank you for listening to my insight and my perspective, and just tell everyone have a great day. Peace.